we'll start off with a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and you want to cut it into 4-inch strips, so you'll get 3 4-inch strips out of your 12 by 12. Just put one to one side at the moment, and then what we're going to do is score it at every 4 inches. So at 4 and at 8, and again on the other one, 4 and 8. So I've gone ahead and inked those. I've inked down the scored lines as well as around the edges. So my card is that lovely pearly at the back, but it doesn't matter. You can ink both sides just the same as we've done there. So on one of our strips, we're going to put it back on the scoreboard and come to that first score line that you scored at 4 inches and come across 1/8 of an inch and score it again to the left. That's going to give us a little gusset there, and so we need to just bend that forwards, reinforce that. That's giving us a little gusset on our cover. Once you've done that score line, come across to where your 8-inch score line is and just score again at 1/8 of an inch to the right hand side this time of your score line, your 8-inch score line. So again, that's coming inwards. So do the double crease. Make sure your sides, when your sides are like this, just line them up and then score, keeping that lined up, and you will adjust it and it will be level. So there is your cover. That's the 2 sides with the little gussets there. Then inside that we're going to put the other piece. So these 2 are valley folds, what we call valley folds, because they go this way like a valley, like this, and we call mountain folds that, if you didn't know. Next thing to do is on your first little square there, and make a nice big half circle, well, half circle, a bit more than a half circle, because you want to be able to really get that out again there. So we'll make that, and then you can ink around there as well, same way as you did with the others. I'm using up what's left on my cloth, which isn't a lot. Can't be bothered to get the... terribly lazy, isn't it? Can't be bothered to go and get the ink again. That's going to fit in there, and that's going to make a pocket. Then this piece we're going to stick together, but before we do that, flip that one back out the other side. Now here on the other side, on the left hand side, you need to just come up 1 inch and make a pencil mark. From that inch to the side of our paper, we're going to come across, so right from the edge at the corner, come across, and we'll get rid of this piece. So you're going to be left with this here. Now what we're going to do is stick this piece down, 2 sides. So I'm going to use my glue. Make sure it's nice and stuck firmly. You can actually just stick that side as well if you want to. Pop that down. When you've done that, that's made a pocket there, and that's where our gift card, excuse the Tesco mobile top-up card, but I don't have a gift card. No one wants to give me a gift card. So your gift card's going to actually sit in there. So that's what that will look like when it's done. Of course, you've got to decorate it all. Then we're going to make a pocket to put a tag in. So we need to glue down, you can either glue this side or glue this side, whichever you want to. We're going to put glue on 3 sides, the middle panel. And then stick this one in there, in between those score lines. Hold it down for a while. So I'm going to stamp now. I'm doing the background. I'm using the squared background on here. I've got my dye inks, Pine Needles Distress Ink, which is Tim Holtz. I've got the Crumb Cake, which is Stampin' Up. And I've got a Brilliance Cosmic Shimmer, which is really lovely. Really like that one. I've popped some pine needles on there and the Crumb Cake. I'm going to mix the colours up. If you want to clean your pad afterwards, just wipe it across some scrap paper and that will get that bit of green off. The Brilliance must go on last. Don't be tempted to put the Brilliance on first, because when you go on to the dye ink pads, it will come off on your dye pads, which you don't want to do. So put that Brilliance on last. And I'm just going to stamp the background on there. I only want it very faint. I don't want it absolutely blocky. That's why I've not put so much ink on it. I'm going to just put some of that brown ink on the edge of this piece. Then I'm going to just take some weathered wood and pop some of that just on some different places. That's a sort of very light blue. Just gonna put a bit more brown over there because I went a bit mad with the blue there. Okay, so we've got our background and other bits and pieces done. I'm going to cut a piece for this now. So cut 2 squares, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So we're going to do that, centre it so you've got an even space all the way around, and then you can make a little pencil mark, give yourself the same amount of space as you've got on the edge here, there and here, down at there where the slope goes underneath your paper. Just put a little mark, give yourself again the same sort of space as you've got here. And then you can cut down there. Don't cut on your non-stick mat, because that's exactly what I've done here on mine. Forgotten it was there, and so that's now my spare scabby piece that I bring over here when I need it over this side. So then you've got your template. You can pop that in there, mat that up, stick that in. That's nice. So now put pattern to pattern on your other piece, then make a pencil mark, and then that's where you're going to cut it for the other side. That will fit that side. So you can pop those 2 on, stick those. That will decorate that. Then we want another piece for in here. So I'll just emboss those now. I've done the matting on both sides there, and I've matted those 2 mats there. The 2 there are 3 3/4 by 2 1/2 and 2 by 3 1/4. And if we do this, then we can cut round the clock and 3D them on some 3D foam squares. And to do that with those, and then another thing I'm going to do is some embossing on acetate. I'm also stamping some pocket watch images on acetate. I've used StazOn. That one's not come out so well, but you will need your StazOn pad to be extremely inky, otherwise it won't come off. The other thing is, clean it straight away, because I don't think clear stamps particularly like the Stays On cleaner myself, in my experience. Taking a bit of cleaning to get it off. It is staining it a little bit, but that's fine, it won't come off again. The red rubber stamps are fine, don't have any problem with those, but it all depends on the plastic, so I don't even risk it. Makes some of them go a bit sticky, I've found. So there, so that's on the acetate with the Stays On.